this is Cat's Diamond Painting. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've joined me here before. I'm here today to do one of the videos I really look forward to during the year. This is my year-end review of the diamond paintings I have completed, and I know what you're thinking. It's all right, I haven't gone mad. I know it's April and most people are putting these out in kind of late December, early January. For me, I started the channel in the February, so I'd kind of missed that, and I really like the idea of doing it. So I did one that April, which was after my first complete year of diamond painting. So I've just kind of carried on that tradition. So here we are today, and I have been diamond painting for 3 years. So I'm going to show you everything that I completed in my 3rd year of diamond painting. Most of these do have their individual post reviews, so if you want to check out more detail about any of them, then I'm going to be able to go through today. Feel free to go check out those videos. And yeah, what have I got for you? I have got, I believe, 13 completions this year, and a little bit of another project, which I'll show you when I get to it. So it's not that many. I'm not that prolific a diamond painter. I watch these year-end reviews by other content creators, and I'm just in awe when people are able to do like 20, 30, 40 diamond paintings in a year, but it's just not me. This year I have had a lot less time because I opened my Etsy shop in April last year. So, you know, time that I might previously have spent diamond painting in the days, I was unable to do so because I was working. I think also this year, whilst my obsession for diamond painting still very much holds strong, it's not all I like to do anymore in a way that it was. So, you know, I've been doing some other bits and bobs like Lego and gaming and just all those good things too. So yeah, I've done 13, and quite a few of them are smaller ones. Whereas in the past, well, I still didn't do loads. I think I did like 16 the previous 2 years, but they were bigger ones. So anyway, I'm gabbling. The point is, I haven't done loads, but this is what I've done, and I have really enjoyed my year of diamond painting. So I am excited to share it with you. So what I'm going to do is I will take you through all of my completions, and then I will probably do a little bit of panning over, particularly the bigger ones, just in case you want to see any more details up close. And then I will quickly take you through my outstanding whips, because I've got 3 paintings on the go at the moment as well, which probably isn't terribly helpful in terms of getting things completed for April, to have lots of uncompleted ones, but hey ho, and never mind. So, without any further ado or gabbling, my first completion from last year, bearing in mind my year starts April, is Butterflies in the Garden by Joelle McIntyre at Diamond Art Club, and I finished this last May. I will say this year, I don't have a lot of variety in the companies that I have worked on paintings from, and I really hope to rectify that a bit this coming year. I have my favourites, and I really find it hard not to stick with my favourites, but equally I like trying new shops, so I need to do a better job of doing that. So yeah, this was a painting that I picked up in, I think it was Diamond Art Club's 4th anniversary sale, so I got it for a really good price, and I loved this one straight away, and I wanted to work on it last spring because it was so spring or summer-like, and I just found it really pretty, you know, lots of pictures within a picture, which is something I really enjoy, you know, all the different butterflies. I really enjoyed the bright colours. Bright colours are such a thing for me, as I'm always chatting about. And just working on bright colours, it brings me so much joy. I can't explain why. I also have a real obsession with paintings where you have a blue sky and it's rendered really well in this really realistic, gorgeous way. And the way this arch like sets out against the sky, I'm a little bit obsessed with that section of the painting. I think it is stunning. I don't remember having any particular problems with it. I think it was just, you know, Diamond Art Club's usual excellent quality. There was a nice blend of colour blocking and confetti. Just, it's all the things I enjoy in a painting, really. So I really, really, really enjoyed this one. Okay, let me put that one to the side. Next up, I worked on this round painting. So I've definitely got more squares than rounds this year. But this was one of the rounds that I did. And this is a Deborah Malcolm painting, again from Diamond Art Club. It's the first Deborah Malcolm painting I've worked on, but it definitely won't be the last because I absolutely loved it. And I do have, I think, 2 or 3 more from her in my stash now because I just enjoyed it so much. So yeah, again, bright colours. Always with the bright colours. And I really have a thing as well about dark things silhouetted against bright colours. It gives me so much satisfaction. Only 44 colours in this one. So as you can imagine, there wasn't too much in the way of confetti. It was quite a nice, simple, easy one to work up, as I recall. And it had, I think it had the first upgrade that Diamond Art Club did of drills, which I really personally, sorry, cat hair. I really personally enjoyed that generation of drills. They've got sparklier since then, and I love that. But I just found these ones really satisfying to place because they grip to the pen well. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit too geeky and nerdy to share, but yeah, these are the things I think about. It's another medium-sized one, like Butterflies in the Garden, 71 by 56 centimetres, which is a really nice size for me. And increasingly, I'm not going for too many of the bigger ones. Probably just because I'm struggling to get through them and complete them. I do have a bigger one to share this year, and I have loads of others in my stash that I really want to work on, but I don't like the way that they block me out for 2 or 3 months. Sorry, if you can hear pitter-pattering in the background, it's Harry who came in. I'm just going to let him out. I have to have the door shut behind me because the washing machine's making noise in the kitchen, and yeah, you know what cats are like with closed doors. So yeah, this was absolutely beautiful. She's done like this whole series, I think, of different times of the day, and I really want to do some of the others. And I've got a Mother's Nature, I think it's called, which I think has giraffes, which I picked up on Black Friday last year, and I'm really looking forward to working on that soon. A friend did it recently, and it's just stunning. So yeah, that was finish number 2. Next up, I indulged my love of Richard Loren's paintings with this sweet little, almost snack-sized painting, I would say. This is Cletus Early Bird, and I really enjoyed this. Richard Lorenz has to be my favourite artist that Diamond Art Club offers. I just love them. I don't have all of them, but I have a lot of them. And out of the 13 paintings I've completed this year, spoiler alert, 2 are Richard Lorenz's, and I have another one on the go at the moment because they draw me in, and I don't know why, because I know it's one of those things people are a little bit love-hate about. Loads and loads of fans who love them and want them all like me, and then a lot of people who just absolutely don't see the attraction, which I can get because like they're kind of weird and quirky, and you know, they're not going to be everyone's aesthetic. But I love that about them. I love the be the bird mantra, the idea that everyone is unique and every bird that he does is unique and has their own things going on, because people are different. I love that they have that idea behind them. I also just find them really enjoyable to diamond paint because you always have this background, and it's often beigey brown colours, which is, you know, a little bit less fun, but whatever, it's colour blocking, it works up quickly. And then you'll have bright, fun stuff in the middle. So there was a really good mixture of confetti and colour blocking, which is what I love, as I always say. So yeah, this little guy was really cute. I think I got him for the Cyber Monday sale the year before. So I did have him in my stash for a little while, but yeah, highly recommend. I remember with this one, it's one of the few diamond paintings from Diamond Art Club I've ever had just minor issues seeing symbols with though, because some of these background symbols were just very, very faint, and it was hard to see the lines outlining each square, so just it required a bit of precision. But hey, it's an extra challenge. I think I said it was small, but it's 42.8 by 55.8 centimetres, which is just a really lovely size. Worked up so quickly. That one I finished in early July, and then at that time I also did a tiny bit of another little project, so I'll just show you these quickly. So I did an accessories unboxing from Temu. I don't buy from Temu in general because I do prefer to support licensed artists, so I'm not in the market for diamond paintings from there, just my personal preference. But I did buy some bits and bobs just to explore what they had, and I got this coaster set which I really enjoyed, and I think I've done 3 of? Yeah. So I've got several more to do, and I'm actually looking at this thinking I might do one later. But yeah. I really enjoy a mandala, you know, the like concentric patterns and that kind of thing. And I just found these really enjoyable to do. I'm not a big fan of crystal drills for paintings generally. Well, I tell a lie. I like them as accents in paintings. I don't personally enjoy all crystal drill paintings. And for some reason, things like coaster sets, they tend to always be the crystal drills. But I don't mind it for that. I think it works to have it sparkly. And they were just very, very satisfying to do. I enjoyed them a lot, actually. I must get on with the rest of the set so I can use them. By the way, if you ever do get a set like this, make sure that you have something to seal it afterwards. Because what you're going to find is you peel back the sticky plastic and then the whole thing is sticky. So you can't just place the drills and leave it, because you're going to be leaving all this sticky stuff exposed to pick up dust and whatever from around your house. So I use Minwax polyacrylic. It's something that I had in because once a very long time ago I did a painting from a company that had terrible popping drills and it had to be sealed, which is the only time I've had to seal an actual diamond painting. But I use that and just go over this. It dries fairly quickly, and now this is all nice and protected and not sticky. So yeah, that was, I mean, I'm not counting it as a finish, but it was something I did this year, so I figured I'd show you. Next up was my first finish from a company that is not Diamond Art Club, which was Diamond Art Studio, oops, who are a UK-based company who actually stock my putty, so I now collaborate with them, and I had only great things to say about them before that happened, and you know, the same is true now, so you should definitely go check them out. Really great licensed artwork in the UK. They do ship worldwide, but it's great for us UK people to have a cheaper option where we don't pay lots of shipping and all that kind of thing. Anyway, I believe I started this in the March, and it took me a while, just because, as is often the case for me when a painting has a lot of confetti, I do it in small bursts because I do enjoy confetti, but only in small goes. So I would do a row or two and then I'd roll it up and put it away and work on something else and just have a little break from it, and then I'd come back to it. Some of it wasn't too highly confetti, but other bits were mental. So the bottom bit, which I think is just rendered beautifully with these flowers, was, you know, a pretty decent whack of confetti. But then this middle section, wowzers. They don't actually sell this painting anymore because this was a Shutterstock image and they moved to doing all fully licensed artwork. But I remember they sold it in 2 sizes, and I got the 50 by 75, and I think they did something like a 70 by 90 or something. And in retrospect, I probably should have got that, because by the time it's smoothed out a lot of the confetti in the larger size, it probably doesn't even take you much longer. But anyway, it turned out beautifully. This is one of their old style canvases. They've actually done quite a lot of upgrades since then. So it's got a different feel to the canvas, a slightly more firm, I suppose plasticky feel, although it's you know, I found it still very nice to work on. So the newer style is much softer, and they've also tightened the grids so that you don't get as much gapping with the squares, which is great, because it was not bad at all, but up at the top where there was a lot of colour blocking, I mean, it's probably tightened up a bit now anyway because it's been a few months, but it was a little bit of a struggle to do it without showing lots of gaps in it. But anyway, it was really nice. I got a choice of drills for one of the colours, so I think it was that plus sign, I think. So DMC 702, I got normal 702 drills, and I also got scent green crystal drills in that shade. So I could just use them if I wanted. So I used them where it was used around this middle section and up the beanstalk. And then I used the normal 702 drills around the outer bits of the painting. I'm not sure if that's something they do as standard setting the option, or if it was just like a little upgrade, because I know that they do sometimes do that. Anyway, it was fun, and it was fun having the choice. And like I said before, I'm not a big fan of all crystal drill paintings, but I do love accents, so that was cool. And I just think it's such a fun painting. It's, again, very me, bright colours, quirky, a little bit different, very enjoyable. So that was that. Right, moving on. Next up, I have this teeny tiny little proper snack size kit that I did when I went on holiday. So I wanted to take something really small and doable on holiday with me to the caravan we go to in West Wales. I didn't actually manage to get the whole thing done because I just wasn't in the mood for much diamond painting while I was there. But I finished it when I got back. I think I finished this one in September, and it is small. It's 32.8 by 32.8, but also it had loads of colour blocking, so it was just a really nice easy one to do for a little change, because I don't often go for kits like this. It's got a bit crumpled, but that isn't anything. Oh, I've got a hair there. It didn't come like that or anything. That is from me putting it in the portfolio. I store completed pieces in not very well and it getting crumpled. This was the first painting that I worked on that had Diamond Art Club's fairy dust drills. So it's got code Z959 at the end, and Z means it's a fairy dust drill. And they're hard to pick out, but these were fairy dust. I don't know if you can see the difference, because it is hard to pick out in the camera. Because I love that they give accents, but in a more subtle way than ABs. It's got ABs as well, actually. The white ones and some green ones around there. So it's got quite a lot of glitz going on, in fact, for such a small painting. I believe that the artist is also on the rendering team at Diamond Art Club, unless I'm mistaken. So it was one that she'd kind of done the whole thing, which is really cool. And it's based on her cat. It's called Incagnito, which, you know, play on words, brilliant. I love it. So yeah, this was a really fun little project. Very accessible for people who like smaller projects, or maybe beginners who are a bit daunted by the larger projects. Although I personally love large detail pieces, I think it's really good that they get some of these out there some of the time as well. Next up, and also in September, was my Halloween finish. So I started this quite early at the start of September. It's called Halloween Gnome. And I started it then because I was doing it for an event, the Fam-Along, Fantasy and Mystical Along event that the DAC Fans UK Facebook group ran, and they did it from the start of September till the end of October. So I started it, you know, at the beginning, thinking maybe I'd duck in and out of it. Sorry, just removing a hair from that. My hair gets everywhere, as does my cat hair. So yeah, and then it turned out I kind of whizzed for it because it's fairly small. It's 42.6 by 55.8 centimetres, and it is round drills, which are bigger. So for the same size space, it tends to go quicker with a round painting because they just take up more room. And I loved it with all the colours. It was just, I loved the pinks and the purples and the oranges. I really like the gnomes. It's the second gnome piece I've done from Laurie Fennell, who is the artist from this, because I did a Christmas gnome one the year before. And there's also another artist they have now called Marjorie Sarnat, I think, and I have a Christmassy one from her as well, which is slightly different style. I love it. Although I think people in the UK call gnomes gonks, and I do not know why. If anyone knows, please tell me, because I think I'm being old and using the wrong word and like not understanding that things have changed, but I hesitate to use the word without knowing that that's correct. Just like I was saying earlier, how I really like silhouetting things against bright colours. I think outlining paintings are really satisfying to me too. I'll always do the black drills, or the dark drills if it's not black, for a painting in any section first, because I work on my paintings in sections, so I would have been doing this release paper by release paper. So I'll always do all the black outliney bits first and then kind of fill it in. I just find that really satisfying for some reason. I love the tricks and treats signs. Really nice use of ABs as well. There's actually Oh, there's 5 AB colours in this one. I didn't even remember that. I think some of them were only used a tiny bit, like the green one is just accents through here. Most of the ABs were the white, and then quite a bit of orange in a few of the pumpkins down here. But yeah, it was just a really fun painting. And it's a great option for people like me who like to do a Halloween painting, particularly to join in an event. But I like to do paintings when they're seasonal, so I don't want to be working on a Halloween painting that's going to take me ages and then it's going to overflow beyond Halloween, and then I'm just not going to fancy working on it anymore. So small ones are good. Okay. Next up, at the start of November, because they take me a while, I finished my biggest painting of the year. So I think, let me see, what did I do? I think I basically finished Halloween Gnome and then went on to this, which I had originally started in the summer and then put aside for a break because it's huge. So this is Beach Vacation. It's 98 by 70 centimetres. I know you can't see all of it, and I'm struggling to move it around that much because there's like fuzzy backed paintings below it. But I will do that a little bit and I will definitely pan over this one in a bit. And also you should check out the post review if you like this painting. I love, love, love this painting. I think it came out in about February last year, and it was one of those ones. I mean, I'm not shy about buying diamond paintings, let's face it. You see enough of my unboxings for me not to be able to claim that I'm particularly choosy. But sometimes a painting comes up and I spot the preview, I'm like, yes, that has to be mine. And those are the weeks when I am right there at release time, logged in, card at the ready. And this was one of those. I think I actually bought it alongside Cosmic Trip using a buy one 50% off code. So, you know, funny the things you remember, but yeah, I got a good deal on it as well. And I just, oh, it is everything I enjoy in a painting. The colours, the pictures within a picture. It's so much fun to me to work on a painting like this. And I'd work on it in strips. So I work on an easel. So for a large painting like this, I work on them sideways because that's how it fits best. So I would do a sideways strip, a sideways strip, sideways strip. And because I was working on it sideways, I'd often like not realise what I was diamond painting exactly. And then I'd step back and realise that I'd done like, oh, a flamingo, a fire pit, you know, whatever it might be. And I really enjoyed that. Also, this painting had quad drills, these large ones here. I don't know how well you can see. You'll be able to see them more when I pan over it, I guess. But they were so fun. Both because they're different and I like something a bit different, and because they worked really well. I thought they were a perfect rendering choice because they're literally just crystal drills that are 4 times the size. That's why they're called quad drills. But also because, oh my goodness, the ASMR of placing them. I always left them till last in a section so that drills were all snugly around them, and I just pushed them in with a crunch, and oh, it was so satisfying. I actually made a TikTok about it. I don't know if you're on TikTok, if you follow me on there at all. I don't post on there very often because I don't have the time, but when I do, it's generally ASMR type videos, and yeah, you should check it out. I loved that. Months later and I'm still getting excited about it. So yeah, this painting was just so much fun. It was by the artist Jeff Haney, and I don't remember seeing a lot from him with Diamond Art Club. I don't know if there are any others or not, but I would love, love, love to see more artwork like this. Mind you, it'd be dangerous because then I would buy it all, and then because they're huge, I wouldn't get round to them because I really try not to buy too many of the huge ones. So maybe not. Who am I kidding? I'd love it. Yeah, so even though I'm not a camping kind of a person at all, like when I say we go stay in a caravan every year, I mean a static caravan that doesn't move and has all the amenities. But yeah, the idea of it is still really romantic and fun, and you know, I'd like to be that person. Also, it really amused me at the time that I was diamond painting things like pants and bras. Because I'm a child, apparently. Okay, so that was my only really big one of the year. but an excellent choice for it if I was only going to do one. Next up, it was time to do my Christmas paintings, and through November, after finishing that one, I actually worked on a painting that is not the next one you're going to see, because I planned to do that in November and this one in December. But then I didn't get as much done as expected in November, and I decided I wanted to change, so I switched to this. Anyway, so this is my second Richard Lorenz completion of the year. This is Myrtle Ho Ho Ho, and I love her because she is fantastically creepy, and she's like me at Christmas, you know, very, very stressed and trying to force the holiday cheer. I was very grateful to be sent this one by Diamond Art Club as a sneak peek for their Christmas releases last year, so that kind of made it extra special too, because I think this was the first sneak peek kit that I had actually gotten around to working on. So yeah, I was enjoying that too, and she was so much fun. So as I said with Cletus, there's this sort of fairly neutral background, which isn't, you know, the most enjoyable colours to work with, but it's fine because it's quite blocky. And then all of the middle bits were just so much fun. It was either black or like bright colours contrasting with the black. Loads of ABs. You can see Ho 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 down here is all in AB drills. And there's quite a lot of others as well, because all of the fairy lights involve either AB drills or fairy dust drills, which I think is fun. I love her little hat. And just, yeah, I love everything about it. I just think she is so much fun. 67 colours, so it had quite a lot of colours in it, considering how much of it is either black or brown. But that's just, you know, the shading that you expect from a high quality piece. And I'm not sure what else to say other than just I really, really enjoyed her. I think I could probably work on Lorenz's all the time and be quite happy, but that would be boring of me. But I don't know what it is. They just work for me so well and just combine all the things that I love, and I enjoy them so, so much. So that is Myrtle. And next up is the other Christmas piece that I mentioned, which I then came back and finished in January. So this is my second completion from Diamond Art Studio UK. Again, this is from before they did the upgrades, because I bought this about a year before I actually worked on it. Although I do think the drills fit a lot more snugly with this one, so maybe they had already started tweaking the grid size, because I didn't have any gapping issues. And this one is just, oh, I love it. So the artist is Esther Anavoros, or Everything You Can Imagine Is Real. She also goes by EYCIIR. And she's a very popular artist at Diamond Art Studio. I don't have any others from her at the moment. I think I did have one and then I destashed it purely because it had a lot of the same colours and I just didn't see me working on it. And quite often, just because I have too many paintings, I have to destash some, so I have to be really brutal. But yeah, this one, there was no chance I was destashing because I absolutely loved it. I love the, sorry, as usual, just picking off my hairs. This is the problem when you're lazy like me and you don't cover the outside edge with washi tape, which, you know, I definitely recommend that other people do. Do as I say, not as I do. But yeah, I don't bother. And then there's hairs, but it lives in a box, unfortunately. So, you know, what are you going to do? Anyway, I love the Dr. Seuss-like style. My son was a big Dr. Seuss fan when he was younger, and we read those books over and over and over. So it's sort of fond memories for me, really, and I really enjoy that. Confetti-orama. I was taken aback by this one. I think this is why I actually had a break from it after working on it through November, because when a piece is high confetti, I can be totally enjoying it, but also know I need to have a break. Otherwise, I will burn out, and I never want to burn out of diamond painting. So yeah, when I looked at the image, I guess I probably saw lots of blocks. I saw white bits, I saw black bits, I saw the sky, and I didn't anticipate how much confetti was going to be in it. It's just the rendering style that Diamond Art Studio uses. They hand render their kits. They do go over and fix anything that needs fixing, and the end result is fabulous. but they go for quite a soft render. And that often does necessitate confetti, which I absolutely am fine with. I just sometimes need breaks. So yeah, even this lower section that all looks quite white, it is actually a lot of cream and white speckled in together. And then these shadows, which are magnificent. Like it looks brilliant. Looking at it through the viewfinder, it is so good how it's been done. But in person, when I look at it up close, it's just, it's like random colours. So those were slow going. But I think I'd basically done the bottom half in November. So then when I came back to it in January and just had the top half to do, that was a lot less confetti. You can see there is a lot of black colour blocking in the sky. And yeah, very satisfying to have this one completed. I think this is one I might hang up on the walls around Christmas time next year because I enjoy it that much. Okay. And then in January, I realised how few kits I had actually finished this year. And I wanted to get some more finishes under my belt. Thinking about this video in part, but also just mainly for my own satisfaction. So then I went on a bit of a small kit kick. For most of the rest of the period that I'm going to show you kits from, because I don't think I have any finishes post February because I worked on, well, I'll get to that when I get to my whips, but yeah, the last one I finished was in February because then I was working on ongoing projects. So next up is Hugs for Hiccup, and I don't think I've ever shown this on the channel apart from as a whip in my quarterly review videos. I didn't do a post review because I think I just didn't feel like I had enough to say to you know, warrant a whole video on it. It's a really sweet piece. It's the only Dakota Deitweiler I've done. She's a very popular artist. And I love a lot of her pieces, but they're also not necessarily my style. I started this in about March last year and I only finished it in January of this year, and it's 42.6 centimeters squared. The reason it took so long is that for my TikTok channel, I wanted to do a pick a number series where you cover it all up with release papers and then your viewers choose a number for you to work on next and you do it. I just didn't choose well. I thought this is a small painting because it is by my standards, but it's quite big for a pick a number series. So I ended up with about 50 full small pieces of release paper over it. And I lost interest in the series, to be brutally honest. I did quite a few. I probably got through about half of the painting like that. But yeah, it wasn't enjoyable to me to set everything up to do it just in these tiny sections and film it and then get the videos up, because it was taking a lot longer because the sections were so small in order to work for TikTok videos. Anyway, I ended up just ditching the whole thing and just deciding to get through it and finish it, which I did in January of this year. And I'm really pleased with it. It is super sparkly because Diamond Art Club new round drills are, and that's always really satisfying. Just see if I can get any of that sparkle on camera for you. It's got a few ABs which were used really nicely. So there's all this blue through her hair. There's some yellow bits through Hiccup, I guess. Is this Hiccup? Because she's hugging. And also these stars in the background. I thought the colours in this were beautiful. It was quite a lot of chopping and changing of colours. You can see lots of kind of lines going through it. So working in bigger sections, you wouldn't have to change the colour in your tray too often. But the small sections I was trying to do, you did. It went really quickly once I started just working on it at my own pace, not for TikTok though. And I'm very glad to have it finished because I do think it's very sweet. And it's something a bit different for me. I don't do kits like this very often. And whilst I talk a lot about the things that appeal to me and my personal style, I also really enjoy just doing things that are totally different now and again. Okay. Next up, at the start of February, I finished Foxy Lady. These next three, I actually put up a video doing a post review of the three of them together, so I won't dwell on them because that's been up on the channel fairly recently. But obviously I need to include them for the sake of completion. So Foxy Lady was 42.8 centimeters squared. This is another one that really is not my typical style. I don't tend to go for people as being, well, I was going to say people as being the central focus, but in a way she's not really. It's the fox, right? Which last time I kept calling a wolf because it's grey. And it's Foxy Lady, so clearly not a wolf. So yeah, I'm not going to make that mistake again. But I was really drawn to it because of the colours, basically. The rainbow tail, I just think is magnificent. I love, as I've just said, to do things that are a bit different now and again. If it appeals to me from a different genre than I usually work on, I'm almost more likely to buy it. I was a little nervous about all the grey and how that would go because there are 74 colours in this painting, which I found astonishing for a small painting with so much grey in it. But it works. I think the rendering is spectacular, and maybe that's what's enabled them to do this as such a small painting without kind of losing anything, because I think the rendering is actually really rather fabulous. It amuses me that the legend takes up the full side because there's just so many colours for a small kit. Like, what would they actually do if they had a small kit and they had more than this many colours? Maybe that's why they stopped at 74. There is a fairy dust drill, but that wasn't in there a huge amount. I just mention it because they're my favourite. And yeah, that is Foxy Lady. Next up is one of my favourite finishes from the year. This is Starry Night, Night Music. And I got this on Amazon.com in the Diamond Art Club shop there, where they have several small kits that are exclusive to the Amazon shop. You can't actually buy them directly to the UK, but I use my Stackry box. So it's a parcel forwarding service that gives me a US-based address. I buy things to that and then ship them over. And if you buy a lot of things from the US, it works out to be quite an economical thing. Well, either if there's like one thing you need to get and you just need a US address, or if you buy a lot of things, because the postage to send bigger things like diamond paintings isn't necessarily cheap. So I kind of offset that by using the opportunity to pick up other smaller things that I've been wanting to get, like accessories from Etsy shops. And then they all come in together, and you know, the postage covers a lot more than if I was just shipping the painting, if that makes any kind of sense. It was only 33 by 46 centimeters, so it is basically tiny by Diamond Art Club standards, and yet I think it is magnificent. Again, 63 colours is a lot of colours for a small painting, so I do think those kind of go hand in hand, that if you're doing a small painting with lots of detail, you probably do need a lot of colours, because otherwise it's going to end up blobby. But I just think it is spectacular. There were some small blocks of colour. It wasn't even all confetti, although obviously it was quite a confetti heavy piece. But it worked up very quickly, not just because of the size, but because I was just really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. The artist is Wonder Mum, and I'm not sure if I have any other pieces from her, but I've certainly admired a few in the past. So I would be very much in the market for getting another one. It's got 3 ABs, doesn't have any fairy dust drills. I'm pretty sure it predates them starting to do those. And it was fabulous. And my last completion was Cute as a Button by Randall Spangler. I did this one because I'd bought this in the Black Friday sales and it was on my mind as a smaller kit that I had, and also because I really enjoy Randall Spangler and I just thought I hadn't done one in ages. You know, it's the bright colours. It's one of the only more cartoon style paintings that I do really enjoy. As I said in the post review, for some reason I really wasn't feeling it when I worked on it, and it actually took me quite a long time. I've got that I finished the Starry Night one on about the 12th of February, and then I finished this one on the 11th of March, which is a little bit ridiculous that it took me almost a month. But it is what it is. Sometimes a kit just doesn't grab you in the way that you thought it was going to. And I'm still really happy with the finished effect. And yeah, I think smaller Randall Spanglers is probably the way forward for me. Just because I've done a few, I don't necessarily fancy the really big projects. Although I say that, I've got Cat Bookshelf and I absolutely love that painting. And that one is bigger and will 100% be worked on one day. But yeah, it was a lovely kit. It's not a reflection on anything that Diamond Art Club or Randall Spangler have done that I didn't enjoy. It was just a me thing that I kind of wasn't in the zone at that point. Okay, so that is all of my finishes for the year. As I say, I didn't finish any past early March because what I did then was I started a kit that I wanted to get done before the end of March in preparation for starting to do an event, and I didn't actually get it finished, so that is in the whip pile that I will show you now. I think I will show you the whips now, and then I will pan over these as a kind of ending to the video. So, as I said, I have 3 whips, 3 works in progress. And the first of these is from Diamond Art Studio, and I haven't actually shown this on camera at all yet because I did kit it up with a friend off camera. But yeah, here is outside the sweet shop. Now, I've followed Diamond Art Studio as a shop for a while, but at some point last year, they started to bring out work by the artist Helcorio. And this one came out and people went nuts for it. It has 197 colours. It's what they call a max colour kit. Although it's only 60 by 80 centimetres, you know, it's big, but it's not humongous. And the owner, Sam, has told me she kind of didn't necessarily expect it to take off like it did. She thought people would think it was really cool and interesting, but they wouldn't necessarily all want to do it and take on a project that size. And I didn't at first. I passed on it in the first round because I thought, I don't want to work with 197 colours. But then when I started to see the pictures of people having completed it, it just became a must-have. So when they restocked it, I was waiting. I was going to get that painting. And yeah, I kitted this up with my friend who has also been working on it. She's a fair bit further into it than me. It is, as you can imagine, intensely confetti filled. Some areas more so than others because you can actually see some blocks of colour with the black and some of these colour bits up here. But then when you look in the shop windows, let me just take you in. It's a little bit mental in there. But it's worth it. And the section that I have done already, I just think looks gorgeous. Honestly, the way they render these is so perfect. The kind of dreamy, wistful, softer rendering, it just really, really works beautifully. So this one row took me probably a good week or so, and then I did feel like I wanted a little break from the confetti. I intended to have come back and done more on it by now, but the next kit that I will show you was taking me a lot longer than I thought, so I just didn't have the opportunity that I thought I would. I think that I will come back and do another row of this very soon because I'm not going to be too long finishing the one I'm working on at the moment, and then I think it would be good to come back and do a bit more of this. But also, I'm not concerned by how long this takes me. When I take on a big high confetti piece, I expect it to be something that I will do in small bursts because I really, really, really enjoyed that row. And then by the time I was on the last square, I was thinking, I want a break from all the confetti. And that is how it will go. And it will probably take me a year or more because I'll probably do it one strip at a time. But it was so enjoyable and such a fun, different challenge. And for anyone who's interested and wondering how that works and how you manage it, I bought one of the large Art Dot 240 bottle storage cases, especially for this. So it's got 3 trays of 80 round bottles. I kitted up into there. I figured out a system that worked for me for how to arrange them, which for me, I know a lot of people, like Diamonds and Washi showed this kit and she talked about arranging hers in rainbow order and that worked for her. For me, that didn't work. I think because I'm a bit too literal. So if I was, say, looking at a sort of, let's say, a mustardy yellow colour, it's like, do I put it with the yellows? Do I put it with the browns? And yeah, it got me too bogged down in ifs and buts. So I did it by symbols. So I did like numbers, letters, like mathematical symbols, all sorts of different categories that I came up with as I was working through it. And what I found with this section is that very quickly I just learned that muscle memory of where to reach for a particular colour as I was going, exactly as I do with a smaller kit. And it's like all of the intimidation factor is now gone for me. It's just about working on it as and when I fancy it. So that is my first whip. Hopefully by the next time I do a quarterly review, I will have a bit more progress to show you. But I can guarantee you it won't be finished yet. Next up is the kit that I worked on in March that I thought I would get done. And again, I wasn't wanting to do as much diamond painting as usual. But this is Nightfall by Cat Fedora at Mooney Made. So this is the only painting from a company that isn't Diamond Art Club or Diamond Art Studio, which is really not good enough. I will try to do better this year. And I've been absolutely loving it. But again, it wasn't a reflection of the painting and how much I was enjoying it this case. I just wasn't in the mood for much diamond painting, I think, during March. But I've loved it. So it's got 51 colours. 4 of those are ABs. I'm trying to think. No, I think I'm confusing her with Jaded Gem Shop because I have a Cat Fedora painting from Jaded Gem Shop. I think the ABs are just charted in Mooney Made. It's not an option, so they're just in there. And yeah, it's another one, like I said earlier, where you get dark colours, in this case dark blue, outlining things, and then you fill them in, which is very satisfying. A fair bit of confetti in this lower section of the painting, but I think the top bit will probably go a fair bit quicker. And I'm a smidge over halfway actually. So it shouldn't take me too long to finish this up now once I finish my next project. Well, in fact, the one I'm about to show you, I shouldn't be too much longer finishing because I'm kind of flying through it. Then I might do a row of Outside the Sweet Shop. Then I might finish this. And then maybe I'll do another row of Outside the Sweet Shop. Who knows? But yeah, I've got quite a few kits in mind that I've had for a while that I really, really, really want to work on this year. So I'm excited to crack on with them. Anyway, it's gorgeous. The painting is great quality. It's a lovely soft fabric. It's really nicely, clearly printed. The drills are, well, I think she says they're resin. So they're like those round resin drills that Diamond Art Club used to do before they started upgrading them and making them in-house. So if you know what I mean, if you maybe bought from them a while ago, they have quite a smooth top and they're very, very shiny. They can be a little prone to being deformed where they almost, you know, they're obviously supposed to be round and they sort of got a flat side, if you like. But in general, they're pretty consistent and good to work with. They annoy me a little bit because putty or wax or whatever you're using really doesn't seem to last as long because I think there's just less to grip because the top is so smooth. But that's, you know, a minor niggle. And yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think it's just really lovely. Definitely an artist that I'm going to get more from. Okay. And the last thing I have to show you is my current whip, which I am working on for the DAC Fans UK Facebook group Spring Along-a-thon, which it started out, it was going to be a spring themed painting, and then we all got a bit confused about what that meant because Diamond Art Club's own website has a really eclectic range of things in the spring category. So in the end, Jan, the group owner, changed it to just basically anything that's Diamond Art Club and isn't like really clearly, obviously another season. So I decided that this would fit. And I've been wanting to do this for ages. This is Floyd the Fabulous Fish Whisperer. This was the first kit I got as a sneak peek from Diamond Art Club actually. So again, really special memories, much like with Myrtle, that I'm so grateful to have this kit. It was a limited edition as well, so sadly it's not available anymore, but it still is one of my favourite Richard Lorenz's that Diamond Art Club has brought out of all the ones I've loved. I think a lot of that is to do with the colours, because blue is one of my favourite colours. And also it's different because, as I've said, a lot of them have sort of beigey brown backgrounds, and this one is all blue. Yeah, and I don't know what to tell you other than I'm absolutely loving it. I've flown through the bottom section. It's really quite blocky, and it looks like the top will be, if anything, blockier. But I will have all the detail around Floyd himself, which will be really fun. It has got 3 ABs, loads and loads of white ABs, particularly through Floyd, and then some other bits and bobs through there, and just really fun, bright colours. It's quite fun trying to work out what the things are. I think, based on the name of Fish Whisperer, that these are all fish. And they look very different, because that is Lorenz's style, to make things very quirky and unique. But yeah, I think Floyd has got to be one of my favourites, and I'm loving it. I'm going to be sad when this one is over. I'm going to set this back up on my easel later and work on this today, I think. And yeah, just savour it, because it's so much fun. Okay, so those are all of my whips and all of my finishes. So I'm kind of going to say my goodbyes here, I think. But what I am now going to do is insert some close-up panning over the completions so that you can see those. But I'll say goodbye before I do that. Do stick around though, because they will be coming up shortly. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at all these with me. As I said at the start, it's one of my favourite videos that I look forward to doing, and I plan, because it's fun for me to get the things out that I did months and months ago and see them all over again and see, I mean, it feels unfair to say the variety because I've not branched out much in terms of companies, but I think the styles of paintings I've worked on still cover a fair bit of variety. Even with 3 Richard Lorenzes, you know, there's some different stuff going on in there, but you will also very much see the themes of what draws me to things, you know, the bright colours, the outlining, the silhouettes, all those things. So yeah, it's a good insight, I think, isn't it? The paintings we pick into the way our mind works. But yeah, thank you for sticking around if you're still watching. Do pop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of my finishes and my whips. Let me know which is your favourite this year. I have 2 of these previous videos, so if you go back to last April and the April before, you'll be able to see the other kits that I've worked on and how my taste has evolved, because I think the things I've done this year are quite different to the previous year, were quite different to the previous year. So, you know, it's interesting. To me anyway. If you've enjoyed what I've done here and you have not already subscribed to the channel, I would absolutely love it if you would consider doing so and sticking around. And this is goodbye from me, so I will see you soon. But here are the pans of my completed projects. Bye for now.